So it's been a while. I've changed careers, I've had a baby, got married, stuff's been happening. And even though I've been crafting, I've not been filming it because life is lifing. But I found some time, some temperamental natural light, and I got out pretty much everything that I want to do in 2025. So let's chat. So as you can see, I have everything that I want to do this year out. I had to dig deep for this one, and while I was finding some old fabric or some old books that I had, I stumbled upon things that I forgot I had and thought, you know what, why don't we pull it out, resurface it, and just get it in the gears to go. So I'm not sure even where to start with telling you about what I want to make. I have broken it down into categories such as myself, husband, house, baby, but then we're also going across knitting, sewing, patterns. Do I want to crochet this year? That's a hot take. I also want to start doing some embroidery, and why not maybe kick off? That's actually a good tangent. Why not actually kick off with a Christmas make that I did not get to this year that I definitely want to do next year. It is a Japanese embroidery Christmas panel. It's a set of 3, so you can cut the 3 different ones out and have a go. It came just as canvas, and you can kind of see in the packaging, I'm not sure if you can, but you can see that there are stenciled lines, and when you wash it, those stencil lines go away. It's called sashiko panel, so I believe sashiko. So sashiko is the type of embroidery used here, the technique. And there's some lovely panels. I might do a close-up photo and put that on the side, but I'm so excited to do that. It did not come with thread. However, I did go to Spotlight and I did buy some in preparation. So I got some metallic silver, metallic gold. I did get some metallic green, some satin green, and some browns. And I went for two-tone browns to give it some texture for doing like the pine cones or the deer and things like that. I did want to do just one panel this year, but I didn't even get to that. So you know what? We're just gonna like leave it, maybe pick it up for Christmas in July. Who knows? But I definitely want to do that this year. Another thing that I want to do this year is I want to finish knitting this square blanket for charity. Now I know, oh, those are triangles, but they're not. They are squares. So I have some leftover 8-ply acrylic yarn in my greater, wider family stash. And I don't normally use acrylic. I don't really like acrylic, but to each their own. So I thought, why not use it up in a way for charity? Because I couldn't just throw it away. And you know, when you go donate these things to op shops, sometimes you don't really know if they're going to end up in a good home or not. And I guess the same could be said for charity knitting, but you know, we have high hopes. So the idea is that you knit some squares. They are 25 by 25 centimeters, and they get donated to Wrapped with Love, which is an Australian knitting charity. I actually go to my local library and do a knitting group there, so it was also part of like what I wanted to do in 2024 was become more social, because we don't do that anymore. And I really wanted to focus on building or growing my community. And I could say that it's actually been a really great time. Like even going to the local craft shop and running into people there and being like, oh my god, so-and-so, how crazy is this? Oh my goodness, this is my son or my husband. Oh my gosh, like, you know, you have a beautiful daughter, things like that. It sounds really mundane, but it's actually something that you have to put time and effort into, and I'm glad that I did that this year. So not only are we using up some, you know, family yarn that we can't throw away, but we want to use it up for a meaningful item. I also get to create a community, and you know, being able to have that's been really great. There's always something to look forward to, like, you know, once a month, be like, oh, gotta leave, gotta knock off work early, gotta run down to the library, gotta get there on time. Do I have to bring snacks tonight? What's going on? And like, you know, the whole, oh, I want to arrive at this time because I want to sit next to this person. Like, it's just exciting. It's so silly. It doesn't really matter who you sit next to, but it's just like an exciting thing to have to think about getting dressed, going somewhere on time, and I work remotely, so I don't really have to do that anymore. So it's something nice to do. So 25 by 25 centimeters. I actually knit it in a, you know, bottom up from like tip to tip kind of thing. And eventually what I do is I have one stockinette stitch that goes all the way through, and each row I alternate what half of the square I increase stitches by. So it's increase one, increase one, increase one, increase one. And I also have used a slip stitch and purl technique on the edges. So the edges, as you sew up, are almost identical to the edge when you cast off. That's actually been really great. I have to knit 28 of these, and I definitely have enough yarn in my stash, but some of it's at my mum's, so I don't have all of it here. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I actually finished one last night. 8. So you can see I'm definitely just using them up as scraps. So as I finish one ball of yarn, I just crack open the other. So that's why they're all a bit odds and ends. And that's totally fine. I actually am using 4.5 millimeter circular needles. You can see that it kind of looks a bit like that, and eventually when it flattens out it does become a square. And the great thing about this is that you just go until you reach your stitch count and you cast off. I find normally when you do a knit corner to corner, on that last corner to corner knit when you go to the decreases, I get really loose tension, so it ends up being really tight down here, and like you get a loose, you know, almost like a isosceles triangle as opposed to a right angle triangle. So that's why I picked this technique. Oh, and I should say that I have 8, but you need 28 squares to make a whole blanket. The charity is actually really great because you can either send in the squares as squares and they'll sew it up for you, or you can sew it up yourself. It is totally up to you. So I would definitely love to finish a blanket this year. Oh, and you don't have to finish a whole blanket. You can literally just donate one square at a time. But because this is a cathartic family type project, I would really love to finish it as a single blanket and donate it as whole. So yeah, that's that. What else? I think a good way to clear the table right now is I would love to make another project bag. So this is my current project bag that I actually have made myself. I made another one, but it is so raggy. I am not going to show that on camera. It's just 100% polyester. It is like a polyester satin, sorry. It's 100% polyester satin. There are no seams on the inside, so I've kind of closed them off, so it's really nice and clean on the inside. I don't have a pocket, but I did have a pocket in my previous one, and in my next one I definitely want to add a pocket. And it has 2 ribbons for a drawstring, and it's great. I know that there's a lot of project bags out there that are either like canvas, mostly canvas, like a canvas, like almost like a tote bag kind of feel, like 100% cotton, a bit sturdy. And I don't know how much it actually matters, but for me personally, in my silly mind, I kind of like to apply the, you know, the silk pillowcase idea to my crafts. So I just feel like even though it's not silk, it is polyester satin, it's softer, smoother, and so it will agitate my projects less, my knitting projects less. So that's just what I like to use. It's great. And the best thing is that I actually already have some scrap fabric from when I've done some toils. So I can quite easily just whip this up, and I might even do a video showing you how I do that. But it's just some leftover polyester satin, whip it up, double lined. I have some spare ribbon in my boxes ready to go, because as you can see, part of the reason that I need it is that I used to be very project monogamous before I had a baby, but then you have a baby and you work on the project that you can. And sometimes that means I can't work on lace while watching TV because I have a baby running around, or it's too complicated, or, you know, I can only pick something up for, you know, 5 or 10 minutes at a time. So that's why the charity knitting squares is actually a really great thing to pick up. So I've had to kind of like lift and shift some of my projects and what I'm working on at this current time. But the thing is that I have one in here, which I will show you because it is on my list of things to finish. And I might actually just shift this over. But my current project bag for this lace nightgown is this. It's just a Ziploc bag. And the needles don't really fit, and it's just going to pop something out the other end. And it's just not working. So I definitely want to make another one, most likely 2 or 3 of these bags. And while I have this out, I should probably show you what I'm knitting here. So what I'm doing, I have, what is it? It is Morris & Sons Empire 2-ply 100% Australian superfine merino yarn. I think it's in shade soft white, which is actually so lovely. The little tiny skein comes like this. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's so cute. It's so cute. And what I'm knitting, I'll put a picture up on the side because it's so grainy. Showing it on camera is not gonna work very well. But I've knitted 1/2 of it. So I should show you what I've done already. So I'll just stand up. And you can see that it's very long. So this is the back panel, and it has some ribbing at the waist. Now it looks like it's already going to be way too much, but it will block out, and when the lace is stretched out, that height won't be as much. But you can see it's very long. It's a full length. I did have to adjust it so it's not as long as the pattern dictates, but that's totally cool, and it took me a very long time, and I have not knit much on the front piece, as you can see. I have a very much long ways to go, but that's okay, and I want it done and out of my life. It's one of those things where I almost considered pulling it apart, but I was like, I have put in so much time and effort into this. I want to finish it. A bit sunken cost fallacy, but you know, we gotta try. But when I picked it up the other day, I actually kind of was like, no, I do want this done. I think it's beautiful. I think it's gonna work out great. And hopefully it does. And if it doesn't, c'est la vie. And as you can see, this project bag just does not work. So the next item on my list that I want to do in 2025 is actually finish knitting this jumper for my husband. So it is a pattern. I actually love patterns. It's great. It's a cable jumper. We have some textured garter stitch for the sides. It's a folded over neck. It's chunky. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit unusual. I love it. So it is Patterns book 8033. And I'm actually not using the recommended yarn because the Patterns yarn, I do believe, had something in it that I didn't like. But what I did instead is another manufacturer that I like almost did their own version as like a competition because they both came out around the same time, which is Bendigo Wool and Mills, and it's called Alpine Pleat. It is 60% wool, 20% alpaca, 5% silk, and 15% nips. So this is the actual yarn that I used. I think I got like 5 or 6 balls to make it. I love Bendigo Wool and Mills because their balls come in 200 grams, and it's amazing, and it's milled in Australia, and we, you know, national pride. We love it. Slay. So let me show you what I've done so far and just how far I have to go. So let's open this bad boy up. So I have done quite a bit, and like obviously because it's dark you can probably not see a thing of detail, or is it kind of sort of coming up there? But no, I absolutely love it. It's 8-ply, it's the right amount of chunky without being too chunky, but it does mean that there's a lot of detail and it's slow going, even though it's 8-ply, but that's fine. I actually love the way it's turning out. Part of me thinks that maybe I shouldn't have done it in charcoal, but the neps I think really give it some depth, and it's just nice. And whenever I make anything for my husband or get him or buy him anything, it's always like in this khaki green because I just love it, and I was like, no, let's expand some horizons. And then you can see that. So this is the back, which is done. I'm now doing the front, and then I obviously have to do sleeves, and this has taken me a very long time. I cast this on in September 22, like just before I found out I was pregnant when I had my baby, which means I got pregnant, put it down, and I've only sort of come back to it in the last 6 or so months. But you know, in the lead up to Christmas, then you shift to Christmas crafting, and then there's parties, so you want to do costumes, and all those types of things. So it's something that's kind of been happening slowly, but I would really love to get it done. I don't think I'm going to put the pressure on myself to get it done for this winter, because I just don't, it's just not going to happen, and there's no point in being sad about it. My husband is pretty consistent in his sizing. He doesn't change that much. I love the pattern, and if he doesn't love it in the end, I will take it off him gladly. So that's that. Oh, and a pro tip. If you have a project bag that does not have a pocket or a different section for your notions, something that I like to do, because you know we love to reduce, reuse, recycle, is I get these canvas bags sometimes when I get jewelry, and they're the perfect size for me to hold some stitch markers, some stitch markers, stitch holders. I have my counter, I also have a measuring tape in here, and it's just great to keep everything consolidated into one. And I normally do keep some snips in here, but they're at some other craft table in this house, so they're not right now. But yeah, so I would love to finish this men's cable jumper this year. Cool. Now, in saying that I want to finish that jumper, I actually did, when I bought this yarn, buy enough to make myself one, because I actually loved the jumper so much that I wanted to make one for him and one for me, and it was going to be so cute. I got it in a more of a taupey kind of colour, which I realised probably is not my colour now after, you know, the 2023 colour analysis craze. However, I'm not sure, because like it takes so long to make, because it's a bit oversized, the cables are very intricate. The pattern does take a while to get into gear too, like the repeat, it takes a while to get into gear too. And I just think it's kind of been on my needles for so long, I don't necessarily want to cast on the same thing again. There are other things that I want to make. So I think I might just have my one on hold. But you know, I have lots of this and it's great. I highly recommend. It was a limited edition, so I'm sorry, but you can't have it. Only I can have it. Yay. Okay, so let's maybe talk about the Mr. Baby. So I had a baby boy in 2023, Jesus. And I want to make him some things. Now, obviously I did make him some things last year and this year and so on. However, what am I going to make him next? I actually made him a really cute bluey Christmas outfit for this 2024 Christmas. I'll put a photo here. And while I was making it, I was thinking, you know what, this would actually be a really great stash buster for some rayon I have. So normally I used to make my husband or my brother some rayon, you know, psychedelic happy print pajamas for Christmas. However, I don't necessarily do that anymore unless they specifically ask, because they've got quite a collection now. So I was thinking, I actually do have some of this left over, and why not make a little sleeveless button-down set for my son? It can be super humid here and he gets the sweats pretty easy. So I think it would be a great way to use up some, like, look how pretty these palms are. Look how pretty they are. I actually have a dress in this myself. I made my husband pajamas, my brother pajamas, and when we're all out, it is pretty funny when we don't expect to all be wearing the same thing, but we do. So that's great. Oh, and the pattern that I would use for that is actually up here. My mum actually got these from Salvos. Salvos is an op shop, if you don't know. And there was 3 of them, and she bought one. She took it back to her hotel, wherever she was staying, and it didn't have all the pieces, because that's just what happens sometimes with patterns that you find at a secondhand shop. So she went back and she saw that there was 2 other exact same ones, and she was like, you know what, I'm just gonna snap these all up. You can tear them to shreds. It means that you can actually cut one to a smaller size, cut one to a larger size, and not have to worry about it too much. And between the three of them, it must have all the pieces somewhere, and they did eventually. I figured it out. But it's such a cute little pattern, and I made the button-down shirt sleeveless just because my son likes a singlet, and it's great. So, you know, we love pattern hacking over here. We love rayon. We love happy times, good vibes. So I would love to make 1 or 2 more of those. I might have to upgrade to the next size up, like equivalent pattern, because this only goes up to 18 months, I think. Like yeah, 1 to 18 months I think is the largest size. But yeah, that's what I want to make. What are some other things? You know what, let's just get this yarn off. This one's pretty easy. I bought this pink super wash. What is it? Oh no, it says super fine, but I'm pretty sure it's also super wash. But it's 100% Australian super fine merino by Morrison Sons Empire full ply. And how cute is it? Like a hot pink. This was back when I was This was back when I was knitting a lot of rib beanies for my family and friends. Hot take, I don't actually like beanies that much, and if we're going to do a beanie, I actually just like them to be really simple, really crisp. And that's why I love a 1x1 rib beanie with like a really nice, neat decrease on the top. Now I normally use my own pattern, but just for the sake of like, you know, just chit-chatting now, I'll throw up some like inspo type pics. And I thought I would make one for me, but actually I do not suit a beanie. I think that's fine. And also it doesn't really get cold enough to really justify one. So I was thinking about either doing kind of like almost like a winter headband, like, you know, mostly like an earmuffs situation, or I actually would kind of love maybe a beanie that had like a ponytail hole at the top. I do have some vintage patterns, and I'm not even going to pretend to try and look for them right now because I just don't have that type of energy, but I do have some vintage patterns that have like, you know, a little ponytail, like little ooh. And I think that would be a really good use of this. Yeah. Alright, another thing, let's get the last ball of yarn off this table. So this again is Bendigo Woolen Mills. It's a full ply cotton in pine lime. Now they don't make this color anymore, and it has greatly upsetted me because I think this color suits my son so well, and it's just like a happy, you know, gender neutral color. It's bright, I love it, it's great. I have 2 balls of this, so that's 400 grams total, and I would love to make him, I don't know, like an Aran, maybe. Could you imagine an Aran jumper in this? How cute would that be? And I'm not sure if I should try and ration it, so should I make, you know, 2 small jumpers, or should I wait till he's older? But I actually think that I should make an Aran jumper in like almost like a size 4 or 5 kids, even though he's far off that age, just so we can get some time out of it. But I really love this. It's really pretty. I highly recommend it. But yeah, I would love to make an Aran jumper. Oh, and here's some inspo pics. Again, I have so many vintage kids patterns that I'll probably, you know what, hold on a sec. Let me just get like the one that I'm probably gonna make. Hold on. Alright, so it's in one of these 2, whoopsies, that I just, I have a lot of vintage patterns. That could be like a whole video. We could just like go through a roast rate review, vintage patterns. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see that. But let me just go through. So even though it's pretty Larry on the front, don't be afraid. There are some like actually like some really nice, some really cute little patterns in there. And I think this goes up to, does it tell me on the front? 1 to 11. So that is definitely up my alley more than the 18 months situation. I think that there was, where is it? I think it's like this blue one. So it's like, is it moss? Yeah. So it's a moss stitch up to the, you know, yoke-ish area. I know it's not a yoke knit sweater, but you know what, you get the vibe I mean. And then it goes into cables. And I have actually knit this before for our nephew. And it turned out so cute. It was so cute. So I was thinking, you know, maybe I could do that. Or there is a version in the book. It's not a great picture. But, where is it? I swore it was the same one. maybe it's not. But there's this kid in this kind of like burnt orange one, and that's also a cute one. So maybe between those two. And I just want to say, while I have these ones out, I do think that there is another pattern that I want to show you, which is just like so cute. And again, like let me know if you want to see some more of my vintage patterns, because look at that. That is a knit penguin backpack, and it has like another little penguin in it, doesn't it? It does. It's a knit penguin backpack with a knitted penguin in it. How cute. I love it. It's so cute. It's iconic. Slay. Oh yeah, and then there's this other, it's like a white, almost like tree lettuce, like a tree lettuce one. I'm not sure if I want to do that instead. But this one also has like penguin, oh my god, penguin color. How pretty is that? Can I just say that, you know, for as much as I love modern patterns and the new techniques and the versatility, and, you know, we are doing some weird and wacky things, some of this stuff hits different. Like, it just does. It just does. Oopsies, we lost something. But no, I think I'll make that for my son in this lime green, pine lime cotton. Alright, so let's actually get what dropped up and get this off this desk, because it's had its time here. So this is an old work dress that I used to wear all the time. It is well worn. Was it probably a little bit too small for me and I kept wearing it? Yes. Yes, ma'am. So you can even see that there's on the seams, I don't know if you can see it, but on the seams there are like definitely stretch marks in there. So let me just hold it up for you. So it's almost like a 1940s kind of vibe. Got a little puff sleeve and it just goes out. It has some nice gather details here. So cute. And I loved it so much that even though it's time for its life to be over, and that's okay, I want to keep it to pattern it, because I want to make the same or similar type one again. Now I'm pretty sure I have a different fabric similar to this but floral. I'm not sure, but you know, I'm a bit conflicted about this. So this is actually DVF, what is it? DVF dead stock fabric. The fabric store, literally called The Fabric Store in Sydney, which is a New Zealand, I think, owned business. It's great. It actually has some pretty schmick stuff there. And they have some DVF stuff every now and then, and I love DVF. She has amazing prints. It's great. I love it. I highly recommend. And I have 4 meters because this was on clearance. And like, how cool is this? Now, it's kind of again coming back to, I bought this pre-2023 when we were all doing the color analysis thing. And I don't know if it suits me. Like, do I want to go to the effort if it doesn't suit me? Because I'm more of a jewel tone kind of gal, I think. I'm not sure. And hey, the camera lies, so don't you dare tell me that this is my color. But I don't know if I want to actually use this because it's a very similar fabric. So this is actually 100% silk, which is amazing, apart from the lining, obviously, always. It's also a dress by Marks. I didn't say that. It's a Marks dress, not Mark by Marc Jacobs. It's a Marks dress, which is, I'm sure it's an Australian brand. And I don't find that they have like that great of stuff, but every now and then they have some, like, you know, once a season they'll have like 2 stunner dresses. So we'd love to maybe replicate this into this, or I'm sure I have a different floral version with a bit of like blue background, some orange and green type florals, and replicate this. And I would love to do this. Crazy. On the subject of DVF, this is some other DVF dead stock. Now this is like drawer dropping. How amazing is that? That's stellar. So I'm pretty sure it's 100% nylon. It is stretchy. Oh my god, we love a stretch. It's navy with a lime green and white detail. It's geometric. We slay. And McCall's no, not McCall's, well, McCall's great a brand, but Vogue Patterns has so kindly, for the 50th? For the 50th anniversary? Yeah. For the 50th anniversary of the wrap dress, re-released their DVF patterns. Now, part of me is like, oh my goodness, snap that up. But part of me is like, from the flat lines, I'm not sure if that's their designs are actually what I want to do. And it's still very similar. Let me just find the pattern I'm thinking of. This still kind of hits, you know, like it still kind of hits. I just feel like the color pop, the cuff, and like I know that this is a stretch, but you can add some, like it's quite it's not stiff in a bad way, but like I feel like it could hold its shape with some interfacing. And I think I just like this pattern better, which like it feels like a missed opportunity to not do it in like the original DVF. So I'm still undecided whether I'll be using this pattern to make a wrap dress out of this, or if I'll be using the reproduction pattern. And again, reproduction patterns, do we tempt fate? Do we tempt thy fate? Who knows? But I love to make a wrap dress out of this. Let's talk about some other things. This one's a pretty easy one. I have this cotton yarn dyed woven fabric. I actually love it. It's giving me 90s in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like sort of 90s. And I think I do have a 90s pattern, or 90, you know, maybe it's late 80s. Oh my goodness. It's 2001. Well, I actually love this vintage new look pattern that I have, and I think it would look great in this. Great, just like a little summer dress. It's like it's a little bit thick, a little bit light. Like it's a it's loosely woven, so I think it feels sturdy, but I feel like it would be light, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, but I would love to make just a cute summer dress. Whoops, a cute summer dress. There is a back bow detail. I'm not sure if you can see it, but just trust me, it's fine. Oh, you can see it on the front. There is a back bow detail, and how cute is that? So cute. So I'm gonna make that. We're zooming through now. We're zooming. So something else that I have is I have this palm fabric. How cute. How cute. Some palm fabric from Spotlight. And I didn't know for a while. First I wanted to do a shirred dress kind of situation. Like shirred bodice, puffy sleeves, flow out. But I just don't really vibe that right now. But what I was thinking about, which is something that I can't stop thinking about, is the dress that I think, is it Lucia? Lulu? I don't remember the character's name. But the, that girl in White Lotus season 2, she wears this beautiful drop waist dress in the final scene of season 2. And it's just stunning. It's beautiful. I love it. I can't stop thinking about the dress. Can't stop thinking about wanting that dress. And I actually thought, you know, for my stash, rather than going out and buying something, what do I have that could maybe like still give me those summer vibes, suit my color palette a bit better, and as always, just use the stash. So I actually thought this would be really, really great. I don't obviously have a drop waist pattern that's like hitting where it's hitting in my mind. But I was thinking I might have a pattern to base it off. So where is it? So the thing is that I need a fitted dress that hits right to about the hips. And then I can basically just do like a rectangle gathered skirt, and it'll be 2 tiers, or at least that's what I'm thinking in my head. In the TV show, she has a button down front. I'm not sure if I want to do that, because I always find that if you have a button down front, to get the fit that I like, which is pretty tight, maybe too tight, but I like it fit. Buttons just don't work with that. You end up getting those gapes as you go up or down a size, or your body changes. It's not as forgiving, whereas a zip, you can always just do that. You never need a bigger size, honey, which is obviously not, like, that's not what we're about, but you know what I mean. Like, you can zip into a dress, whereas the buttons, I just feel like they don't translate to fluctuations as well. And I mean minor fluctuations, I don't mean massive ones. I just mean, you know, are you having a bloat day? Oh my gosh, a button down dress after dinner? No. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So I actually think that I'll do a zipper back version, trying to go for a bit of a low cut, and I think this pattern might work. Now I know that this one only goes to the hips. I know it's a hip and then it's a flare, but the thing is that I actually really wanted the dart positioning. Maybe you can see, maybe I'll put in a photo. But the dart positioning is what I wanted. So I do want side darts, and then I want those center, those parallel center line darts. A lot of the patterns that I have that kind of align with like that A or very close fitting slip dress, they have the bust darts, but then the shaping darts actually normally go almost like diagonal, and that was a very 60s thing because most of my fitted dresses are 60s originally, but I just want some of those center front ones. Now I do have some others, but like I don't know, like, you know, for example, this Easy Vogue one. This Easy Vogue one definitely has, it's closely fitted. We've got bust darts, we've got those parallel center front darts. I would have to adjust the necklines. Maybe even this is a better one, because then I just have to go to that hip length and then add my flared skirt at the bottom. So that might actually be a better one. It's just, you know, maybe I use that one for the base and I use this one to figure out the neckline. My camera overheated and I forgot where I was. So let's keep going. Essentially what I was trying to say is, just because you have a pattern that looks like this and a pattern that looks like this doesn't mean that you can't mix, match and adapt. And that's what I love to do. And I'm hoping that I can do that for this. So I'm gonna make a drop waist palm tree summer cute skirt. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Now, this is one of those things where I was digging around to find the palm fabric because I knew I had it, just wanted to make sure where it was, pull it out, bring it to the top of the pile. And I remembered that I had this, I think it's twill wool, it's definitely wool, but it's twill wool suiting in this kind of like peacocky teal color, and it's absolutely amazing. It's so beautiful. I also got this from the fabric store. I honestly have no idea what I want to make with it. I think I had a couple options, if I can remember. Yeah, I think it was, yeah, I think it literally was between this pattern that I had before. I've had this forever. Look at it. It's a cute pencil skirt, slit back, and it has a matching like jacket. And then that jacket, you can't see it. Oh, you can't see it on the front. It has a bow. Do you understand me? It has a bow. So, high contender. But then I also have this other pencil skirt situation. Bit of a t-shirt going on, like, you know, like a t-shirt sleeve. It has a waist. It's got some beautiful darts. It's an interesting shape. This would absolutely be on belief. Need like 3 twills to make, I am sure. But it's high up there. Again, there is a bow option. Bow. I'm not sure how I would feel about doing a contrast bow on this though. I don't think I'm that confident to do it on this, in this rendition. But I'm pretty sure that there are many others that I could make. Maybe I want to make it in a different fabric. Maybe this belongs here, and this belongs with something else. But anyway, we're meditating, but I definitely want to make both of these patterns somehow, some way. Now, let's actually finish the sewing portion of the video out. I have a few patterns. I have lots of patterns. Some of them I have made, some of them I have not. I actually wanted to first off the bat give a shout out to my #1 pattern of 2024, which actually came out in 2023, 22. It came out in 2022, but I absolutely love it. And as time goes on, I just see it popping up more and more, and it is this 1950s vintage simplicity skirt. It does have a pattern for the top, so you have either a collared top or a round neck top. It's stunning. I've not made the tops because they're maybe not necessarily my style. I might do the collared one though. It looks cute. But the skirt, The skirt slays. It's amazing. I love it. It's so easy and so adaptable. It quite literally is just rectangles. You know, now that I've done it once, I don't really even need to look at the pattern anymore. Like, it's great though for like to check lengths and you don't have to do as many calculations. But also because I'm not sure, but I'm not as tall as the models that they make these patterns for, which is like fine. That's how life works. So I definitely adapt each tier to be like an inch or so shorter, if that makes sense. And I've also made this, again, I made this for my Christmas summer set. And I just did 2 tiers and it was amazing. I actually made this for my last year's Christmas outfit as well. I'll post a photo here, but I absolutely loved it. So I incorporated it again to this year's Christmas outfit, and the 2 tiers, I've been waiting to make 2 tiers and it worked out even better than what I thought. And I definitely am going to be making it again in 2025. I have 2 so far. There's many plans to make many more. I'm very excited about this pattern and you should be too. And also I just was like online shopping the other night just to see what was on sale, like with Boxing Day sales. And there was a decent amount of like, you know, mid-tier fashion labels, like, you know, not like Gucci. I'm not checking those websites, but there were some really good mid to higher tier leaning labels that had this like layered tiered peasant skirt 1960s 1950s, sorry, kind of vibe going on, and I love it. We love it. Slay. So what are some of these other patterns that I want to make? I might do a quick fire round just so we can get through them, and I might even start with the BB boy. Now, BB boy. All right, there are 2 patterns that I have here. I think honestly he's even already too old for them. I think they mostly go up to 18 months. But I think they would be a great base. They're still great bases and, you know, can easily size them up. They're not too complex of patterns. We've got sleep sacks and we've got some basic tees, hoodies, vests, pants. Easy, simples, love. Don't really need to expand on that. They look cute. I want to make them. Next, let's do the vintage ones. We've got a few vintage ones. Alright, so we have this Butterick 68701. It's cute, no words. Like, I think pencil skirt is more flattering on me than the hourglass kind of figure, but I love this. Do I do 2-tone? Do I do a solid color? Do I do a print? I don't know. These are great questions. I'll get back to you on that. We have this 1930s vintage. The vintage that they are picking are getting much better. Now I hope that the actual pattern, like the reproduced pattern, is better than what they've notoriously been lately. And as that can be, if you know your way around sewing, you can figure it out. You usually do just need that starting place to get where you need to go. And I think this in a rayon would be so nice. But the thing is, there's a collar and there's like a bow option. I know collars definitely suit me better, and that's what I lean towards making because I feel more confident in them. But it needs a contrast, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But like, does a rayon collar, would that hold up? Or do I do a rayon dress and a cotton collar? These are the questions I need answers to, and I can only do that by making it. So, slay. I need to stop saying slay. Moving on. Another vintage one is Simplicity 1166. I just like the collared shirt. I've tried making the bra before, but it just didn't work out for me. It's just not the vibe. It's just not it. It's just not it. However, that collared shirt, I love it. I need it. It has some interesting seams, so you can't really tell here, but it has like kind of like it has a sleeve, and then it's almost like a diamond shape. It'll be I think it'd be really interesting and like a really good sew along as well. And the fitting doesn't necessarily have to be perfect because it's just an oversized cute shirt. You can tie it up. Like, I love it. I love it. I don't love the skirt, but I really want to make that shirt. I think that would be a good shirt. 1940s is where my heart truly belongs. This is so much fun. This is so cute. It just makes me happy. And you can't tell, but there's a bow. Can you themes bows? I just like it. I'm really not sure which one I want to make. I think I like the square neck better. I think I definitely need the belt and the bow. And you know, do I go with cotton? Do I do an underskirt, like to help it with like go ch, but then ch is more 50s than 40s? Who knows? I don't know. And it's really hard to find prints for these things, but the fabric store has some really good Liberty London prints. So maybe I can check that out. But yeah, very excited about that one. Alright, now this isn't vintage, but it's kind of like vintage-esque, but it's really nice. It's costume sewing. But I really like a Regency dress, and Regency / baby doll dresses are having a proper moment right now. And I definitely think it would be really cute to explore making one of these, like, you know, Regency type dresses. Now you can't see it because they have coats on it, but I might post a photo on the side here of the line art. And it has this really cute empire waist, poof sleeves, and it just tears out. Now I probably wouldn't make it full length at all, you know, just above the knee. I just think it would be really lovely, and I think it would be really cute to try and make a costume dress for normal wear. Like, you know, just because it says costume doesn't mean it has to be a costume. So I love to explore that. Some other ones, we're trying to go a bit quicker because the battery, so we have McCall's M8348. It's just a cute knit dress, and like the way that the bolero kind of like cover up works, I think that is so exciting, and I love it. It's just cute. It's cute. I think this one has really interesting details. I don't know why they made this in satin. I don't know why they made the sample garment in satin. It does not flow. But I really like that blue with like the long slit, sleeveless. I think I would definitely, this sleeveless, I think that could be stunning. Stunning. Would love to explore doing that one. A wrap top with frills. A wrap top, it's simple, it's cute. Wrap top, frills, bow at the back. Beautiful. And that's McCall's 8095. Okay, so this wasn't an old, it's not an oldie, it's just older. But this is a very geometric Vogue dress. And the lines are so interesting. It's Vogue 9357. It's just so interesting. I just really would love to give it a go. Love to, definitely something that, probably not stripes, but maybe like a check, a gingham, but polka dots. I feel like polka dots are coming. You better hold tight. Polka dots are coming back. And also, again, with the wraps, we have McCall's M8088. I really like that t-shirt and short, you know, the short skirt option, that green one. Again, it looks like there's no shaping on this sample model. Why? Why? I don't know. You tell me. But you know what? I'm keen to give it a go. I think it is an actual wrap. I don't think it's a faux wrap. I think it's an actual wrap. It needs bias tape. Gross. But I would love to give this a go in the green. I'm not sure. Like, obviously not like the green on the pattern. I'm not sure. But I'm interested. I'm tempted. And the last paper pattern that I have is actually one that I have made before. If I find a photo, I'll post a photo. There might only be embarrassing photos, so probably not. But it is McCall's 7894, and it's just nice. I did this sleeveless with the frill skirt. Honestly, it was quite easy to make. I did it in a pink floral rayon. I really enjoyed it. The only problem is that again, I don't think I'm short torsoed. I'm just shorter torsoed than the pattern models, which again is fine. If you know how to fix it, you fix it. And I did not make a toil for this. So as I made it up, I figured out, oh, I really need to lift it up. So I did it. Like, is it perfect? No. But I just folded over the shoulders a little bit. I was careful to try and make sure that the folded over fabric didn't overhang on either side of the, you know, don't want to call it, it's not a sleeve, but the outside of the garment. Like, I didn't want those, that me taking it in peeking out. I think it works fine. There's no major qualms. I get many compliments on the dress. It's great. The only thing that I would do differently next time is the narrow hem on the frill definitely came loose. I think I have changed the way that I do narrow hems now, so they're a bit more substantial. I think I used to try and use the narrow hem foot on my machine, and I I can't get it to work. I can't get it to work on corners. I can't get it to work through seams. So if you, with these frills, you have multiple lengths, like, you know, maybe 2 inches thick, but you have, you know, 1 meter, 2 meter, and you need to sew those 2 meters together, and then you need to do that narrow edge. And I just can't get the narrow hem foot to go through that edge. So I've twisted, I've changed, I've looked into it, I've changed the way I do my narrow hems, and I think if I tried this again, it would definitely hold up better than my frills that are fraying now. But it's also good because it means it's getting worn, because they are fraying. It's also like, it's pretty crap to iron those frills, especially in rayon, because you want them to be like nice, and rayon crinkles like, you know, like you wouldn't believe. But this is really fun. I highly recommend this if you haven't made it, and I definitely want to make it again in 2025. All right, we are now on to the last little bits. So let's smash them. So what do I want to do? I want to actually make a Guernsey. Now, is it going to happen this year? Probably not, but I want to put it on here on record that I want to think about it. I want to pick the pattern. I want to get the yarn. I really want to have it in my pipeline because I've been obsessed with Guernseys for so long. Now, is it a Guernsey or a Gansey? Is it a fisherman sweater? Is it an Aran sweater? Is it this? Girl, that could be a whole video. We should do a whole video on it. But I have these 2 books. This is the second edition, not second edition, it is the second book by this author on Dutch Guernseys in particular. Some of these patterns are great, some of them aren't, you know, the cutest, like they're not what I would pick, you know, from a modern, like sensibility standpoint, if that makes sense. But there's lots of like history in here as well, and it's just stunning. So I love this book. It has some great patterns, and even if not the patterns, there's motifs in here. So whether I design my own or, you know, lift a pattern straight from here, that would be something that I definitely want to look into. And I have this like little book. It's almost like a self-published situation, and there are lots of, again, it's almost like a stitch dictionary of the different stitches and what they mean and what they meant, how to get them. And there are some full-fledged patterns at the back, and look at those, look at that. These are this is workwear, like workwear. I definitely want to make a Gansey or a Guernsey. Maybe they're different, maybe we'll do a deep dive, maybe we'll figure that one out, but I'm very excited to really dig into this journey. Now, let's actually hit back to knitting before we even touch that. What I want to do is, so I actually have a lot of vintage patterns, and this is absolutely, I have a lot of vintage patterns, and this is absolutely not even close, not even scratching the surface on the patterns I have. The ones in here are basically the top tier, the I like you, so you're going to be put in a plastic sleeve and put away very nicely kind of ones. So I definitely would love to make another vintage pattern this year. The vintage pattern that's next at the very top of my list is actually the one at the front of this book. And if I open this up, it's right there. Isn't that stunning? Isn't that like, that's stunning. Could you imagine how roasted that would get on the internet these days? Excuse me, 3-ply, excuse me, lace, excuse me. Honey, 3-ply lace, fitted blouse. It's stunning. I absolutely love it. I would love to make it. We're not going to get into vintage knitting discourse right now. I'm very aware. I understand. I have to adapt and interpret patterns all the time, but I love vintage patterns, so I do it quite often. I'm used to it. It's almost basically how I learnt to knit, so I actually struggle to read modern patterns because I'm like, what are these people talking about? Why are there so many words? Why are we writing in sentences for a pattern? which is really interesting. And honestly, even reading a graph, I can't read charts, which is so silly, but I'm so used to reading the, like, for the pattern, when you begin the repeat, I always have like my kind of anchored row memorized, like, the first row of the pattern repeat memorized. So I remember between point A and point B, there's always 7 knit stitches. And it goes, 7 knit 2 together, 7 knit 2 together. So I know that at the beginning of that one, I count 7. Whereas the visuals, I find it harder to memorize that 7, 7, 7, which I have as my mental check as I go through my pattern. But anyway, so I definitely want to make this pattern. It's part of Patterns Knitting book number 264. It's called Lorraine. Lorraine? Yeah. How cute is that? I'm very excited to make it. Let me know if you're interested in my vintage knitting book collection, because it honestly would probably be a good video to help inspire me to clean it up. Because I have some there, I have some here, I have some there, I have some in the other room, I have some in my bedroom, like, they're everywhere. I have some in a pile next to drawers. It's relentless. I love it and I will not stop. Alright, now, the last prop item that I want to talk about is machine knitting. So in 2021? Yeah, in 2021, I bought a flatbed knitting machine after watching Engineering Knits. She did a video on flatbed, like, I think it was like her first ever video on flatbed knitting machines. I saw it and I swear, the same day I messaged someone selling it on Facebook Marketplace, who lived like 2 suburbs over. They had, I have the Singer Memomatic 321 and the ribber that goes with it. I can't remember the ribber spec. But yeah, his mother passed away. She had all this stuff. I went over, picked it up, negotiated down to do a deal. He didn't realize that the ribber and the main machine go together, the main bed go together. So I managed to get a deal on that together. In hindsight, I do think I overpaid for it in general, but it was so close. The fact that from wanting it to buying it, it was like 24 hours. It was amazing. Cash in hand. It was a 10-minute drive away. The guy was so nice. He gave me some extra patterns and notions that, he just wanted to find a good home for. Now, I have played with it quite a bit, but I've always struggled with the neckline, and I just want to continue to get better at machine knitting. I actually haven't knitted a complete item at all, which is so ridiculous after spending so much time doing it. But I love it. It has punch cards. Oh my gosh. Different video. I think I did film a video on when I bought it and me cleaning it up, but it's deep. So if you want to go deep, let me know, and I might actually get the footage out, edit it, and put it up here. But I want to continue my knitting machine journey. I would love to make just one knitted item this year, probably for Mr. Baby, just because it would be a smaller item to actually knit. But I would love to make one complete knitted item and really ace it. That darn collar, the fold over, the cast on, cast off, the it's a lot, but I want to get better, so I definitely want to do that. And in part of that journey, I did get the Mastering Machine Knitting book, which is actually really great. It has a bunch of different techniques. While there's a lot of like online resources, sometimes they're like hard, or sometimes you don't want to open up your computer because you just want to pull up like basically a dictionary right next to you when you're on the machine. And this works really great, and there's some really great techniques that aren't like often explored in the vintage literature around it, such as like the 3D textural knitting, like, even just like see even the one on the cover, like, that's not usually covered in some of the vintage guides and manuals. So I really want to explore that, get to know my machine and get better, and knit one, just one item. I would love to do that. Now, the only other things left on my desk is my notebook and my phone. So let's get rid of my phone. You hang out there. And then I have my notebook. So what else do I want to do? I want to finish some sheer curtains, because right now I have an old bed sheet hanging up here dappling that light, which obviously has changed throughout the film, but it's fine, it's fine. I would love to do more gouache painting. So I actually do have a gouache paint set up here, and watercolor, and I just want to do some, like, you know, abstract-ish, bold color print, like house decor kind of thing. So, like, you know, lobsters are a big thing right now, like lobsters, seashells, coral. I like ocean things, so I'd love to do some like ocean gouache paintings for around the house, like not super detailed, but like literally blank sheet, just the item, no background, on the wall it goes. So I would love to do some more of that. I also have this really cool idea, I think, of, and I'm sure it's been done before, it cannot possibly be original, but we live in sunny Australia and it's pretty hot outside, and sometimes we do want to hang out outside, but the sun is just too much. So we were thinking about buying a gazebo, but that's just a bit silly, I think. So what I think that we want to do is I want to give making a cover for our Hills hoist a go. If you don't know what a Hills hoist is, it's that clothesline that spins around, and it's basically an umbrella on a spinner. So why not basically build almost like a fitted bed sheet that goes over the top of it, and then you have an umbrella. I really want to try that. I might Google it and see if I can find some photos online if other people have done that before, and I'll post them as well. But I definitely would love to give that a go. Crochet shell wall art. Now I've seen this reel where somebody has like a crochet, not a conch shell, but like, you know, like a, I don't even know what it's called. I should know more shells. I like shells. I should know the names of shells. But they have some like crochet seashell wall hanging art, and they put like their hair straightener and things in it, and I would love to make something like that, but literally just as wall art. I don't need to put hair straightener or things and stuff, but I thought they were just like really cute, really cool, really quirky, and giving some texture, like, you know, to blank spaces. I thought that would be really cool. I think that's it. So as you can see, there's probably like way too much for me to get done in 2025, but like I said, I just wanted to, you know, reshuffle the pile, pull out some stuff that's been stuck at the bottom, back up to the top. Maybe what's resurfaced might actually get done, might actually get used this year. And I'm really looking forward to a fresh crafting mind. I'm also looking forward to maybe taking the pressure off in how I make these videos. So maybe I could film some more, and not be like too stressed about how pretty the background is, or do I need to wear makeup, or what am I wearing, or is the lighting, like, there is so much of that, and then you don't end up doing anything. And honestly, it's just nice to have a chit chat. It's nice to have a chit chat. It's nice to give something a go, and I'd like to continue doing that in 2025 as well. So I hope you liked my video. Let me know, you know, your thoughts, feels. What are you making in 2025? What did you or did you not like that's on my list? What do you think I should do first? Who knows? What do I think? That drop waist skirt is really hitting me. That palm drop waist skirt. That palm dropped waist skirt is really hitting me. I think that's what I want to do, but we'll see. Or maybe project bags. I don't know. Anyway, I will figure it out offline. But in the meantime, okay, thanks. Bye.